and it's the day after the FIFA Club World Cup final. It's not even been 24 hours yet, actually. I am Benjamin Iketia, City Sports Repping. Welcome to another live edition. Chelsea fans in less than 24 hours have become unbearable. You can't tell these people anything. You talk to them about breakfast, they say, "Where's your Club World Cup?" You talk to them about school, they say, "Where's your Club World Cup?" Don't bother talking football with them. Because as for football, they say they are the kings of the world for the next 4 years. The irony of winning this tournament and calling yourself or being crowned king of the world is that it happened in America, you know. The team whose various sports call themselves world champions when they win stuff. The irony. Yeah, Jamie Ty is here. Yeah, what's good?
Oh,
Charlie.
Cool things.
So, Club World Cup, I don't know, man. For a competition that had everybody complaining about it, I mean, very polarizing competition. Some said it's the worst thing that's happened to football. Some people said it was great. I mean, if you ask Chelsea and PSG, both have walked away with something close to about $100 million in all with regards to prize money or competition money that has accrued. First question, before we even get into the football that was played, has this competition been a success?
Yes, it has been a success. It has been a success. I mean, I paused because it's the first edition, and so there were some hiccups with getting people to buy into it.
Yeah.
First things first, and secondly, the location of the competition came up with some questions because you look at the atmosphere surrounding the games. It's not what we are used to in this part of the world, especially for a grand competition as this. I mean, imagine hosting this competition with the likes of Real Madrid, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Juventus, Chelsea, Manchester City, all these big clubs.
Big teams came.
Imagine hosting them in, forget about Europe. Imagine hosting them, all these clubs in, let's say, South Africa or Morocco.
Okay.
You can imagine how vibrant the ambience would be. Yeah. But it wasn't necessarily the same as in the US. And so it came up with a bit of questions. And you also had to look at the ticket pricing and all, how FIFA continuously slashed the ticket prices because the demand wasn't necessarily there. And so it brought about some questions. Then you have to look at the weather. I mean, and that's where there was a bit of disappointment because it's not like the US do not have the infrastructure to deal with weather issues. It's just that FIFA were a little bit tone deaf when it came to the health of players and people who were involved in the game in real time. Because if you are hosting a competition like this in the summer period in the United States, why would you have games being played in a place like Miami around 4 p.m.? It doesn't just make sense. The southern states, you shouldn't host any game before 7 p.m. That's US time. But FIFA came up with the reason that they wanted to pick a time or time periods where it will be universally acceptable for fans to view the game. So if it's 3 p.m., let's say if it's 7 p.m. in Ghana, which is 3 p.m. in the United States, if you are playing on the east side of the coast of the United States, it will be 7 a.m. in, let's say, Australia, which is okay for a game. But the thing is, if you are hosting a game like we had Chelsea and PSG playing at 3 p.m. in New York in the middle of the summer period, it's not the best. It's not the best. So the timing and the scheduling was a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
And even if you are going to host it at 3 p.m., then you should pick locations that have roofing. So if you pick the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, for instance, it has a roof over the stadium. You can cover it and manage the weather.
Yeah.
The Mercedes-Benz arena in Atlanta, it also has a roof. So in those circumstances, yeah, FIFA could have done better, but they disappointed a little bit in that regard, and that's what led to people, pushing back a little bit, including the players. But other than that, I think it was a very well organized tournament, and now that the first edition has taken off, yeah, I'm pretty sure the subsequent editions will be great. So
nice.
I'm all in for the FIFA Club World Cup.
Nice. I like the fact that you touched on various aspects that culminate in making the tournament great. So when you talk about the crowds, there were a lot of concerns about numbers, lack of attendance. So
yes,
let me give you a few.
Especially when we started,
Yep.
when the competition started, this just came to mind.
Yeah.
Especially when the competition started, you had several empty seats.
So
So
the lowest attendance was 3,402. Mamelodi Sundowns and Ulsan.
Yep.
That was the lowest. 4 matches failed to get 10,000 fans. Lowest being 3,402, like I said. But there were also 15 crowds of 60,000 or more. 15 crowds of 60,000 or more, with the highest being 80,609 on the day PSG beats Atletico Madrid 4-0 in Pasadena. Now, Pasadena Stadium is the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
And the Rose Bowl, I believe,
It
is
is
the stadium
100,000.
is the stadium that hosted
Real Madrid and Man United in a preseason
in
game.
fact, even 1994, USA 94,
Yeah.
the Rose Bowl was there. So,
Yeah.
like you're saying, and it's a very open, old-fashioned type stadium. And Pasadena is a very hot place. So
It's in California.
So you can imagine.
It's in California.
It's just,
and in July,
Yeah.
in June,
it's just crazy. So the average attendance, according to the stats, says the average attendance was 38,369, which is below that of any World Cup since Chile 1962. So for those of you who are numbers crazy, these are some of the this thing. Now, some of the reasons given for the low attendance is funny. Now, reasons given were: 1, kickoff times, mainly middle of a weekday; 2, ticket prices; weather and concerns about immigration and customs
It's true.
enforcement raiding games.
Yes, it's true.
This is crazy.
It's true, and people didn't pay particular attention to it. But where the communities that have soccer crazy fans
A lot of migrant communities.
you have a lot of migrant communities, and so if you are cracking down illegal immigrants,
which has been the thing in California
Yes.
in the month preceding.
and even in the south, all
Yeah.
the southern states, Miami, Dallas, Houston, all of those places, if you are cracking down on illegal immigrants,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm settled in my corner, but at the end of the day, a close friend of mine is getting hunted by the ICE. A family friend of mine is getting hunted by the ICE. Do you think I will really be in the perfect or the right frame of mind to come and sit in the hot sun and watch Sundowns play Ulsan? Of course I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Even if it's my team, let's say Inter Miami, I would have a bit of issues dropping all these all this thing that's happening all around me and move over to the stadium to come and watch a game. And so yeah, it's a reason. It's a big reason why there was some low level of attendance, particularly at the start of the tournament.
I just found that hilarious. Scared of law enforcement raiding the games. I can't imagine what that would be like. Anyway, let's talk about the game itself, the match proper. Chelsea completely taking PSG to the cleaners. It hasn't happened before in a long time. In fact, the last time that PSG lost a game by 4 goals, I believe, was against another English opponent in Newcastle. I think it was 4-1 how that game ended. But they will feel hard done by this defeat because they believe that they had completed English football. You know, in the Champions League prior, beat Liverpool, beat Manchester City, beat Aston Villa, beat how do you call them? So Liverpool, Manchester City, Aston Villa, supposed to be Arsenal, and now they have finished the slate. They were going to add Chelsea as icing on the cake, but it didn't happen. In the end, 2 Cole Palmer goals and 1 João Pedro goal were enough.
Of what a team sport is. The coach and his staff doing their work, and the players executing the plan. It was just a perfect harmony and a perfect combination where you could tell that Enzo Maresca and the staff really studied the film of PSG, identified the weaknesses, and transferred it to the players, and the players actually went out there and delivered. Because you look at the tactical discipline that the boys deployed on the pitch that day, the intensity and the execution of their passes, it was just brilliant. Look at the first goal, for instance. That long pass from Robert Sanchez, the goalkeeper, straight to the foot of Malo Gusto. Then you look at the second goal. Moises Caicedo retrieved the ball, delivered a pirouette, and he moved the ball one time to the right side, which is PSG's left side, in behind Nuno Mendes. Cole Palmer ran onto the ball, and that was it. And you look at even how they played throughout the entire, particularly the first half. It was just a perfect plan that was well delivered. Even when they decided not to attack the wing areas and decided to move the ball centrally via the central spaces, look at how shifty the passing was and how quick it was. João Pedro, I remember the first Cole Palmer chance that he bent it just wide of the post. It was just brilliant interplay. How they were able to shift the ball in between the PSG players, back flicks, no looks, a quick step over or two, and they running into spaces. So honestly, I was just impressed with what Chelsea were able to deliver on that day. It was just perfect, a perfect game that they played, because it came off a perfect plan that was well executed by the boys. So yeah, I think it was just it wasn't one of those days where you say, oh, PSG weren't on their day or they didn't have their day. They did have some very good chances. They played well, particularly in the second half.
Just before Chelsea scored, Desiree had a really good chance. I'm not sure what he was trying to do.
I think he was trying to be too cute with it. Just all three. I should do it. Young player of the tournament. He should have gone to Real Madrid. Do it. Young player of the tournament. He should have gone to Real Madrid's. He should have gone to Gonzalo Garcia. I look at these things.
I think there's some bias for teams who make it into the final.
But it shouldn't be. That shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case, especially when the contenders were either in the final or close to the final. In Real Madrid's case, Gonzalo Garcia ended up making it to the semi-finals.
And so he's one of the top scorers as well.
Yes. And so how is it that this guy didn't make it to win the young player of the year award? And Robert Sanchez, I mean, the final, he delivered an absolute clinic of goalkeeping. Brilliant saves all round. But he being the best goalkeeper in the tournament, I mean, come on. That for me is a little bit of a stretch. And so I was disappointed with that. But the final, it did live up to expectation. It was a brilliant game all throughout. And yeah, Chelsea absolutely nailed their execution. It was just on point. Brilliant display by Chelsea. It's very difficult to see PSG lose by 3-0 and get dominated the way they did.
And they were dominated so much they were frustrated. They wanted to throw hands.
That shows you how good Chelsea were on that day. Yeah, they were a brilliant side on that day.
It was some good stuff. Shout outs to João Pedro, getting 3 goals, already looking like he's been with this Chelsea team forever. I think they probably need to patch up a few shaky areas, and they should be good to go. Now they're in the Champions League. They have a Premier League to contest for. I think they should be worthy contestants of the Premier League title. I'm not sure how they themselves feel about that, but on the PSG side, I think 2 big absentees, Willian Pacho and Lucas Hernandez. Both of them picked up red cards in the quarters against Bayern Munich, and I think it had a big impact on how they defended. So they had to draft in Lucas Beraldo to play as a centre half, naturally a left wing back. He had to come and play as a centre half next to Marquinhos, and Chelsea completely took advantage of every single weakness that he had. I thought that they exploited that pretty well. I enjoyed Caicedo's display in midfield as well, alongside Reece James. So double midfield pivot of Caicedo and James, very interesting. And I would say that PSG have been served humble pie. I think they were beginning to grow wings. In fact, fans were beginning to put them on a certain pedestal. I mean, based on the performances we have seen from them. They completely smother teams, dominate you, beat you convincingly. So it was almost becoming like no team can go toe-to-toe with PSG. But I think Chelsea have made them human again. And I appreciate Chelsea for that. As for the celebrations, very interesting, Yao. In the celebrating of this competition, apparently Infantino told Donald Trump that you had delivered the trophy, so it's time to go. But Trump said, no way, this is my country. When the pictures pop up 50 years from now, I need to be seen in the pictures.
He showed us like a photo.
I granted you the opportunity to do this in my country, so hey, I'm not going anywhere. The guys have won. I'm a winner too. I'm jamming with them. That was really interesting.
Yeah, Cole Palmer was even stunned. He was looking at him like, is this guy
like,
going to go? Are you leaving?
Said, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here.
I mean, Trump, he is a showman, and he showed us love a good photo op, and this was a good photo op, a big opportunity for him to hog the headlines once again.
Exactly.
And so, here I am with the world champions. Go USA, MAGA.
You know
how these things work.
Good publicity.
Good publicity. You know? So I was a bit shocked that he did it. But if you think about Trump, I mean, he's not your orthodox politician.
No.
So he does things a bit awkward in a different offbeat way. So he doing this, it wasn't too far from the Donald Trump that we've come to know. So I wasn't too blown away, but I found it very interesting and a little bit funny. But it adds to the spice of the tournament, I must say. I mean, Donald Trump, you have to give it to the man. He always comes up with something different.
Oh, Donald Trump. Just interesting. Just looking at him celebrating. Anyway, big congrats to Chelsea Football Club for becoming the first team to win the Club World Cup. Let's move it on and talk about some transfers now, and let's get into the camp of Arsenal, because finally it looks like that one transfer they were looking for to crown their efforts or to boost their efforts in the next season has finally come to pass. So Victor Gyökeres and his representatives, as well as Sporting Lisbon, have agreed a fee with Arsenal. I'm trying to find the exact fee. I believe it's about 63 million. 63.5 plus 10. That's the deal. His agents have landed in London to seal the details, according to transfer guru Fabrizio Romano. So it looks like a medical will soon be sorted. Yao, is this the final piece in the Arteta project? Arteta says he's about to enter phase 5 of his project.
Why is he Kevin Feige? That he's doing the Marvel Cinematic Universe phase 5, phase 4, phase 3.
He's done back to back.
Second place finishes in the Premier League.
Is this the season, or is this the signing that pushes them over the top?
Is this a sign that pushes them over the top? Gyökeres. Is this a signing? Wow. I think they check a box in terms of need with striker, but is it a kind of striker that really puts them over the top?
Why are you doubting somebody with numbers
I'm
like
doubting
that?
A little bit because even Arsenal fans, if you should inject true serum into their system, they'll tell you they're a little bit nervous about this transfer. They'll tell you this. Trust me, they'll tell you. But even let's say a Harry Kane, or let's say a Victor Osimhen.
Yeah,
I doubt they'll have any doubt. I really struggle to see any doubts if Arsenal going and get, let's say, a Victor Osimhen.
Yeah,
or Alexander Isak.
You mean Premier League proven?
A Premier League proven player, and someone who has done it in different scenarios where this guy comes in, he balls out in the AFCON, does well, wins African Player of the Year, goes to Napoli. That's pretty much the near impossible. Wins or gets Napoli to win the Italian Serie A title. If you bring such a guy in, oh yeah, Arsenal fans fully embrace. But with Gyökeres, I mean, he's playing the Portuguese league, a league not necessarily noted for its defense. We've seen other strikers from the Portuguese league come in and not necessarily deliver, particularly with the Premier League. You look at Darwin Núñez, for instance. Yeah, that definitely comes to mind. If it was
João Félix.
João Félix, if it was a winger, oh, there wouldn't be any doubt because those guys come in and they are ready to play. But as a striker, yeah, there's a bit of doubt because how much space would you get in the Premier League the way you get it in the Portuguese league? You look at some of the Portuguese league games, the marking, the positioning, it's a bit,
the quality of opponents.
The quality of opponents way off. It's not. It's really not the best. So that's where there's a bit of worry. So does it take them over the top?
You
I think it puts them there.
But you want to wait and see.
I want to wait and see. Honestly, I want to wait and see. If it had been Alexander Isak, I would have definitely said, oh, 100% yes, they are winning the Premier League. But with he coming in and not Isak, I think I'll have to be a bit cautious. And that's why I'm not putting them over the top. But I still see them finishing in one of the top 2 spots. And let's say they get a bit lucky with injuries. And they stay fit and the other contenders, Man City, Liverpool don't stay fit. And let's say Liverpool, for instance, the Diogo Jota issue affects them so much, it just knocks them out of their rhythm. And for Man City, they are still struggling to get back that all-conquering dominant aura that they had a couple of years back. They are still trying to get there and they are still not there yet. Then that's when, things might break for Arsenal and they might just manage to sneak in and win the Premier League title. So does it take them over the top? I don't think so. But it keeps them in the top 2.
Well, I know many an Arsenal fan who are over the moon to have Victor Gyökeres. 33 matches played in the 2024-2025 season, 39 goals scored, 7 assists. In the previous season, he did 33 matches as well, scored 29 and dropped 10 assists. So on the numbers side, numbers look good. It's just that people are can this guy really do this in the PL? Anyway, we'll see how that plays out. Let's move it on to another one. Mosquera to Arsenal, I believe, is a pretty cheap deal. Just about 20 million euros. Young Valencia, ball playing centre back. I'm not sure if Arsenal need another centre back, but they are getting him anyway. Thoughts on this one quickly?
Yeah, I was thinking same, but there's a high possibility that Zinchenko will leave. Tomiyasu has already been
his
released.
contract has been terminated.
He has already been released. So you are down 2 defenders more or less, and so
we have Saliba, Gabriel. We still have
Jurgen Timber, Calafiori, Ben White. So 5. So if you go get Mosquera, as a cover, I think it's okay. It's okay. Looking at the circumstances,
lots of competitions, lots of matches to go around,
and there's also Lewis Kelly also playing as a left fullback, and so you have 5 players battling out for 2 positions. So Saliba, Gabriel, Ben White, Jurgen Timber, and Calafiori, 5 players battling for 3 positions. I think it's fair enough.
Pretty decent.
I
think based on the matches around, it's pretty decent.
Yeah, I think it's pretty decent.
Anyway, let's talk about another transfer real quick. I'm not sure where this is coming from and who will be happy and who won't. But after failing to land Alexander Isak, failing to make headway with Ekitike, the news coming out of England is that Mateta's agents have been seen with Liverpool reps in Paris. Jean-Philippe Mateta had quite the season before the campaign started. Was pretty decent with Crystal Palace, helped them to get into Europe, helped them to win the FA Cup. Yeah.
Let's see.
Don't call me or not, but the gossip says that Liverpool have shown some interest in Mateta. How are you feeling about that?
Oh, I mean, interest will definitely be there. I mean, at the end of the day, it's that time of the year. It's that time of the season. So yeah, you can register your interest. But I think it's just a small screen to just get Mateta's value up a little bit. Just prop him up and let people know that Crystal Palace
He's
have
available
something
on the market.
Yeah, have something that's valuable that you can get something out of if you are Crystal Palace. I think it's just a smoke screen. I mean, because if you look at Maguire, for instance, he's one player that a lot of teams should be chasing. But
Liverpool are in for him as well. I think they are still trying to sort out some
the money.
details.
Yeah, exactly. So, and with that kind of deal, you don't hear too much about it. But you look at Mateta, a lot of talk about Mateta and all. Yeah, I think it's just small screen. I don't think Liverpool are really into Mateta, knowing very well that they haven't let Luis Diaz go. They haven't let Darwin Núñez go. They still have Cody Gakpo in there.
Yeah.
And Mohamed Salah also in there. I don't think they will be seriously working on building on that.
But don't forget that they are trying to sell Darwin to Napoli as things stand. I think there was a rejection of a bid. Napoli were expected to come back with an improved 10 million bid. But I think that all things being equal, Liverpool expect to sell Darwin.
Yeah, if they sell him, but Luis Diaz stays, I don't think they will. I don't think there's the need to go in for Mateta.
I think they will sell both of them. In fact, I feel like the Wirtz transfer and its financial burdens have meant that they need to
let some people go.
They need to move things around a little. And don't forget that Diego Jota's contract, I believe, it's so I think they will pay his contract to his family.
They've sorted it. So that's confirmed also, that they'll sort it.
I mean, not off, but kind of off their books as well. So Jota gone, Núñez gone. You're losing 3 forwards. So I don't know. I feel like they definitely have interest in bringing in a body. I'm not sure who comes in, but I think they have interest in bringing in.
I think then that's when the Mateta deal will come into play heavily. I think it's contingent on what Liverpool do with those two guys, Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz. If both go, he comes in. If one leaves and one stays, I don't think they will have to go in for him because Florian Wirtz can play as a false 9 too. So there's no need to bring him.
Is it a downgrade on what they've been looking at? Because you promise your fans, or you whet your fans' appetite with Alvarez, Isak, and even Ekitike, whom I don't like very much. But then, like, none of those deals seem to be materializing, and then the fans start hearing Jean-Philippe Mateta had a good campaign last time around. Not a big name, but is that like a dampener on the mood of what's going on?
Most definitely. I mean, if you go in hard the way Liverpool have so far in this off season, bringing in Frimpong, bringing in Kerkez, bringing in Florian Wirtz, and you want to handle issues with the strikers position, or more or less round up your activity in the transfer window. And it's Mateta. I don't think it's the highest end notes out there, and so it will be a little bit of a down for sure. But I don't see it happening. Unless Liverpool really are hell bent on clearing major salary off their books. That's when Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez are shipped off, and that's the only time and the only situation that I see Liverpool going in for Mateta.
Let me tell you about a very interesting story unfolding. So João Félix, once golden boy, or once wonder kid, named in the same breath as Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland, looks like he has fallen off mightily. Now, Chelsea Football Club purchased him for £45 million in the previous transfer window, just a season ago. They didn't think he was a right fit for what they were doing. They shipped him off to AC Milan on loan. Milan, who are in a poverty crisis with regards to players, also don't think that João Félix is good enough for them. So João Félix is in limbo. Chelsea don't want him back, but they say that they are not letting him go on loan again. He says that, yes, they say he's not going on any more loans. So the path was clear for him to return to his boyhood club in Benfica. They are the only ones showing interest, but Chelsea say that they want to recoup their money. So Benfica must cough up at least £35 million or £40 million for them to consider letting him go. Now Benfica say that they want to purchase 50% of his rights for somewhere around £18 million. That is where the João Félix saga has gotten to as of now. So apparently, you know how these big marketing agencies work. Everybody knows that Jorge Mendes is your guy, but he probably doesn't run the individual business of like getting you a deal. He's been called into the matter to settle the matter because it looks like Chelsea and Benfica are not making any headway with João Félix. Now, first of all, how did this guy fall off so badly? Yeah. And secondly, I mean, is there any amicable situation inside where he can go to Benfica, rekindle his career, or you think that once he makes that move, it's downhill from there?
Wow. I think he should go back to Portugal. Try to get into a situation that is quite familiar, that he's quite familiar with, that he's a little bit comfortable, that he's a little bit confident about. I think more often than not, he's been in situations where, either the manager doesn't believe in him, or the players around him don't even believe in him, and that he can be able to produce the way he was producing when he was young. And honestly, look, you have to be careful when you're a child prodigy and you are making the
big
step
money move,
to the next level. You have to have good advisors around you. It's not all about the money, because Mbappe could have signed for, I believe, Real Madrid earlier on in his career than he did. But he decided, his mom, they decided to go to AS Monaco first. You look at Erling Haaland's path. He's been joining teams that dominate the ball, create a lot of chances, because they know who he is as a player. So Salzburg, Dortmund, Man City, those teams, they fit his profile perfectly well. You look at even our own Kudus. It has been step by step by step by step. And so if you are João Félix, you love to have the ball at your feet. You don't necessarily love to track back. You don't necessarily like to get your hands dirty with the defensive stuff. And you're a wonder kid. People placate to your needs. The last place you want to go is Atletico Madrid and play for Diego Simeone.
You know, the funny thing is, when Atletico put up that money, I was shocked, because that was over
100 million.
It was more, actually.
It was over 100 million. Yes, it was over 100 million. It was over 100 million. And he's not the guy you want to go play for in your career when you were a young budding player.
126 million euros.
Yes.
That is about 120 million pounds.
Yes.
That's crazy. I didn't even think Atletico had that kind of money.
Look at what happened to Mo Salah. His career almost took a side turn, a bad turn, when he moved to Chelsea because of the manager he was playing for. Not because he wasn't good, but because of the team that he went into, and especially the manager he was playing for. He did not have time to be babying a budding talent, more or less. And that's what João Félix was when he moved over to Atletico Madrid. Have time to be babying a budding talent, more or less. And that's what João Félix. He didn't have. He is a old school who wants to. He wants you to work for you to get what you get in return. He wants you to work for it, not someone else do it for you. He wants you to do it the hard way. He doesn't want you to do it a flashy, flamboyant style. No. And I think that really hurt João Félix. And the team that he looked to have settled a little bit and was showing flashes or signs of getting back to his old self, it was Barcelona. But unfortunately, they also had financial issues. And at the time, the players that they are wonder kids, quote unquote, who had been dealing with injuries were returning. So there was no need to keep him because Pedri was returning. I think it was around that time that Lamine Yamal also popped up on the scene. Gavi was around before he got injured. Fermin Lopez
Barcelona have wonder kids for days.
Yes, Fermin Lopez also came into the scene. So there was no space for him, especially when it came with quite a hefty price tag. So they had to let him go. And I think that really affected him. And until he gets to a position where, or a team where he can replicate that kind of environment, it will be difficult for him to get back to that top level. And so I don't know if he really wants to get back to that top level very bad. He can pay off some of the money from his own pocket. Honestly, we've seen players do it, and he's made a lot of money. You can cough up, let's say, 5 mil.
In fact, he's actually agreed to take a salary cut to go to Benfica.
Yeah.
Only that the clubs can't seem to agree a fee.
Yeah, because I mean, Benfica is not the richest, far from the richest. They love to sell, not necessarily.
They've made money.
They made money, but they are investing in their academy. They are investing in their stadium. So it's not like they've made money like Liverpool, and they are looking to cash in big on the next big thing, as they did with Florent Wirtz.
Yeah.
So with Benfica, they are always improving on their scouts. They are always improving on their academy. They are improving on their stadium, building it up. So they have made a lot of money, but at the end of the day, they don't keep it. It's not like it's money sitting there that they want to use on a player, more or less at this point in his career, can call a reclamation project. Yeah. No, they don't do that. They rather invest half of that money or even a third of that money on a young player from, let's say, Ghana, Brazil, Argentina, develop him and sell him for quadruple the amount of money that they invested in that player. So I think he's just in a bad spot. And yeah, if he can get his agents and Benfica to some way, somehow get the money so that he can go back to Benfica, I think that would be the best
place to revive his
solution for him for this issue, and the best for him to be able to revive his career.
Let me read a few messages coming from YouTube. So shout outs to our YouTube community. Sweet Kwame, Samuel Amankwa, David Henry Apia, James Okayenko. They are having their own conversation there. Samuel Amankwa says Mateta is a hard-working striker and has a good finish on him. I think he will make a good backup for Liverpool. And David Henry comes in and says if Liverpool gets Mateta, other teams should forget the Premier League. And I then go on to check out Mateta's stats, and Mateta's not been bad at all. So in the last 2 seasons, 2023-2024, he got 16 goals and 5 assists in 35 matches. This season, the just gone by one, he got 14 goals and 2 assists. So he's had a pretty prolific
in all competitions.
This is, I believe, Premier League, just Premier League, 14-16, 5 and 2. So very decent finisher actually. And I mean, at age 28, if Liverpool are buying him with the intent of making him a backup, I can share those sentiments that he makes a decent backup player. But as for João Félix, just to even touch on that before we move it on, I just think that first things first, I think he was overrated. João Félix is the complete. He's the. How do I put it? He embodies for me what agents do with talents. Like his agent sold us dreams that were not there. Like he was obviously a talent that was good on the eye. He was highly regarded. But you see, when you are Jorge Mendes' clients, and I've been around football enough to know that an agent as powerful as Jorge Mendes literally owns Portuguese football now.
Oh yeah.
And when you have that level of power, you own journalists, you own media outlets, you own scouting programs, you own coaches. Like you literally can game the system the way you want. If you want your player to get 5-star ratings to attract shiny numbers from other teams who are buying, it's very easy for him to do. Look at how much he sold João Neves to PSG for. And I'm not saying João Neves is a bad player, but look at a guy like Gonzalo Ramos. Has done absolutely nothing since moving to PSG, but they sold him for crazy money. Another Jorge Mendes client. So I think first of all, he sold dreams to Atletico Madrid that didn't materialize. And as soon as Diego Simeone realized that this guy is a diva and won't help my team, he shipped him out. The thing about João Félix is that when I think about him, right, he doesn't do anything exceptionally well. He doesn't have exceptional pace. He's not an exceptional dribbler. He's not an exceptional goal scorer. He's not an exceptional passer. Like, I think the most standout attribute about him is his flamboyance. He looks good on the eye when he's moving with the ball. That's about it for me. And if you are that kind of guy and you don't even have any defensive acumen in you don't have the dog in you to run back, track back, do those things, your career is going downhill. I'm sorry to say.
I think and he also came in at the wrong time, because he came in at a time where divas, I wouldn't say divas, but players who don't track back, players who don't work hard off the ball, were being shipped out. It's just like James Rodriguez, more or less. It's the same thing with Mesut Ozil. It started around that time.
I like the point you are making.
It started around that time. That's when he had moved over to Atletico Madrid, and unfortunately, again, it has to go with the coach because it coincided with Diego Simeone more or less consolidating power at Atletico Madrid because he had won the league.
True.
He had been to 2 Champions League finals, and so he could do whatever he wanted. So I mean, look, what João Félix coming up, it was just like Kun Aguero coming up. But look at how Kun Aguero at Atletico Madrid,
Aguero was a deadly finisher.
Was balling now. Look at how he was molded from the under 20 level to the senior level. So where you land is very key. Where you land is very, very key. And unfortunately, João Félix,
one of the things also,
he landed in a very
one of the things outside the fact that he doesn't do anything on an elite level, I think, is that he is positionally an ambiguous player. Like, I don't know if João Félix is a number 9. I don't know
10.
if he's a winger. I don't know if he's a number 10. Like, when you are like that kind of player, you confuse managers. They don't know what to do with you.
I think he's an inside forward. So let's say you are playing
left
with
wing, come inside and drive.
Let's say you play with a 3-4-2-1. So he will be on the left side of those 2-man team playing behind the striker. I think that's the best position for
funny
him.
thing, like, I just think about inside forwards and I think, wow, Marcus Edwards is now a better player than João Félix. Like Marcus Edwards of Sporting Lisbon.
Yes, because he's working.
He's a way more productive player than João Félix.
Because he works. I mean, he's now with Burnley. They've paid the money from Sporting Lisbon to get him. He works. I mean, your typical English winger. I mean, at the end of the day, he will run at defenders and all.
He's gone around the block.
But he works. Yeah. So if you are not willing to, drop that quote unquote golden boy tag, it will be a little bit difficult. The downward spiral will continue in there. And just a quick one on the a Club World Cup. I know we have to go.
Yeah.
I made this point the last time that we were on air. I think it was on Panorama. I think Real Madrid, I think this World Cup has given them the reality check that
they didn't get the reality check from the season they played.
Yeah, they did get it, but like now, I mean, it was under a new it was an old coach.
Manager,
Now the new manager has come in and he's tried to get things to be done, but it's still clear that the balance is not there. And I made this point about Messi. In his prime years, Argentina didn't win anything. Not because he wasn't good, not because they didn't have a great team, not because they didn't have great coaches. It was down to the fact that the players there at the time were playing for themselves. They weren't catering to Messi's needs. Higuain and company. I think the only players were Angel Di Maria and Kun Aguero. And those guys weren't midfielders. Those guys were either wingers or strikers.
Sure.
Defenders, you needed them to defend. You needed midfielders to progress the ball and all that. But now look at the team around Messi. They will do everything just to make Messi look good. And we've seen the results. Won back-to-back Copa Americas, won the World Cup. And so for Real Madrid, you can either do it the PSG way, where there's no star, or you do it the Real Madrid way, where there's always a star or a couple of stars. And in this case, It's Kylian Mbappe.
I have a feeling that Xabi Alonso is in for a very long season.
And in this case, it's Kylian Mbappe. You went through all that embarrassment, dragging his feet, paying all that money. No, you've answered the question. You've answered the question. Kobe Shaq. You brought in Kobe Shaq. You brought in Kobe Shaq. They also have Jude Bellingham to worry about. Another
diva.
You get it? So look, let these two go and imagine having a midfield of Chouameni, Kamara. You think Mbappe?
Enough.
But you have Mbappe. What again do you need? No, they have to let Vinicius and Jude Bellingham go, because at the end of the day, you also have to balance the books. They are bleeding bad on the financial bit too. So
on Vinny, I probably see some type of exit some way, maybe in the near future. Bellingham, though, I'm not too sure. Bellingham is at his dream club, any dream money, young star. I don't know who's going to have money to buy Bellingham, to be honest.
I mean, Liverpool can buy him. And there's also interest.
They will have to fork out another 150 million, probably more. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. Let's close out the conversation with Ghana's Black Queens. They have their final game in the group stage, Group C, tonight against Tanzania. So it's a 2-0 defeat to SA in the first game, 1-1 draw against Mali. Now they need to win heavily or by a big margin to either topple the teams on top of them, or they will have to win some way, somehow, to make sure that they qualify as one of the best third place teams. Either which ways, winning is non-negotiable. Yeah, Bjorkgren or Bjorkgren, as he says he's called. Yeah, this is a dire situation for him. We've not been, in fact, Ghana have not won in the last 4 games at the women's WAFCON. So 2 draws, 2 defeats.
We haven't qualified we haven't qualified beyond the group stages at the AFCON since 2016. So if you are saying 4 games, no, we haven't qualified from the group stages at the women's AFCON. Done with their games. Group B, Nigeria, the third place teams right now, as it stands. Group A, it's things she messed up. So I think this is the perfect opportunity for her to come in and atone for the mistakes that she did in that game against Mali.
Well, so the Black Queens, they need to win this game. It's win or probably come home. So hopefully they can get this one going. Let me just get a few messages out of the way. This one here from Yusuf Manando says he's watching us from Abu Dhabi. Hard guy. Somebody in here. Let me see.
I'm betting it should be like 42 degrees out there.
Sweet Kwame says he's watching from Virginia, USA. Okay, that's nice. Shout outs to all the people in Virginia. But yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm Benjamin Nketiah. Big ups to all of you who joined us on YouTube and X as well, to talk through the Club World Cup, to talk through the transfers and also the Queens. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be back again to share some thoughts on the trending issues in the world of sports. Until then, keep subscribing to CT Sport GH. Hit the like and subscribe button, and also all our other platforms. We're out.